Today you will get to see what happens with various leader lengths on your Carolina rig and the difference a lure can make. Really interesting. We're going to check out a 4-foot leader and an 18-inch leader and then see how they are different with two types of lures, a standard craw and a salt impregnated Elastec soft jerkbait. And there is a huge difference between the two. My hope is you take what you see here and apply it to what works best for your situation. And at the end, I have an interesting example of where the soft jerkbait Carolina rig can really excel. First up, let's look at a long leader. This is the regular soft plastic craw on the 4-foot leader. And as you can see, the traditional plastic stays quite close to the bottom as it scoots along. If the weight or the lure gets hung on something like a stick or debris, that sudden snap can launch the plastic higher into the water column. Well, that long leader lets it float back down slowly. A long leader also allows the plastic to fall slowly on the initial drop once the weight hits bottom. But overall, even with a long leader, most often the craw is working along close to the bottom of the lake. Now here's the same lure with the shorter 18-inch leader. The shorter leader length keeps the lure tighter to the lake bed even when it pops up and over something. Now I love fishing with a shorter leader like this when the water is dirtier. It also has the added benefit of helping me to feel the bites better. A long leader can be tough to detect bites with, and a fish might swallow the hook deep, and nobody wants that. Here is the same lure with a rod popping action instead of a traditional sweeping movement. Just the slightest pops of the weight will help to lift the craw off the lake bed. Now, of course, at extreme distances, this doesn't work. You have to wait until the back half of your presentation to do this. Now let's look at the salt impregnated Elastec soft plastic. This one is a soft jerkbait body style, and this is the short leader. The lure stays up and above the muck and debris. It has a really enticing gliding action that is visible from quite a distance in this clear water. I have had lots of luck fishing a lure like this on a Carolina rig. Now here is the same lure on the long leader. As you would expect, the longer leader allows the lure to float up higher when we pause the retrieve. I like this type of setup when there is some vegetation that isn't too terribly tall. The lure will work the top part of the weeds and stay pretty clean when worked slow enough. Now, let's take a look at this. Here you can see some footage of a permanently mounted camera I have under my floating dock. Off to the side, you can see the long leader Carolina rig with the salt impregnated Elastec Z2. Depending how long you pause the lure, you can cover a lot of that water column near this floating dock. Or you can work the Carolina rig a little quicker and keep the lure close to the bottom as well. And hey, if you would like to watch a video on different floating worm plastics, rigging styles, and retrieves, go ahead and check this one out right here. And make sure that you go out and encourage someone today. You never know how you might just change their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.